Good day to you. I believe you are mainly the citizens and the ladies and gentlemen of Bognor. Well, today is the 5th of October 2022 in the year of our Lord. Now, I understand many of you may watch this through a YouTube. I suppose this to be some form of telescope, or a book of faces, which many of you seem to have, these books. In any case, you may wonder why I am sitting here when I was actually born on this day in the year of our Lord 1722. Well, you may be surprised, but not as much as surprised as I was to find myself suddenly walking in this clothing along a road in Bognor, and I was quite amazed to find it was Bognor, a much larger, a busier place, with all manner of sort of transportation without horses. And I inquired of a local gentleman who has a humble cottage in the road, and he explained to me, and I told him who I was, and he invited me into this humble abode, his cottage, and here I am. And he's said that I should put my story before you. Well, I was born on this day in the city of York in 1722. Well, part of my early life, but we made our way to London, and I apprenticed to become a hatter and a milliner, and I sort of became part of the East India Company, and I advanced quite prodigiously in that time. I also served as the Member of Parliament for Southwark, a rowdy, dissolute place full of self-ambition and bad behaviour. Has it improved, I wonder? I don't know. Perhaps you'll think about that. In any case, at the age of 46, I was made a knight. And so, as Sir Richard, I continued my trade. But my health did fail, and at the age of 64, I decided to seek a remedy in what was becoming a very popular health cure, sea bathing. Now, this had advanced in places such as Brighton, but the rowdy and dissolute behaviour of many of those who frequented it made me think perhaps I would like to go somewhere more genteel and quiet. And this fishing hamlet called Bognor was brought to my attention. A charming little place with a few inhabitants, mainly humble fisherfolk, who have been plying their trade, their profession, for many, many centuries. Now, I've been told it goes back as far as a Saxon chieftainess, and that the town, or the hamlet, was given its name by her name. So, Bognor. Well, you know, I looked at it and I came back a second year, and I was so taken with the place, I thought, you know, we could develop a more fashionable and genteel and better behaved resort for people of quality. And that was my notion, to create a new Bognor. And you know, my ultimate aim was to have, of course, as one would in those days and these, royalty to come. Well, I didn't quite achieve that, but I've learned since that Queen Victoria, who reigned many years, came here and was very enamoured of the place, and that the good King George V, he granted it the epithet Regis. Well, you know, for me this was an amazing achievement. And it really puts for me, in this day and age, it makes this the highlight of my life, which I have had. So what did I do? I made it clear that I wanted to develop sort of fashionable buildings, places where people would come to relax, take the waters, and undertake such facilities as there were, which were not many, so we had to build them. So, for example, you will see some called photographs of buildings which were built in my time. The area you know as Waterloo Square, that was fashioned in my time, although the buildings are not there. But there are one or two buildings you're seeing in this montage, and I also bought various land. I had 1,600 acres in all, and one of the I became the Lord of the Manor of Aldwick. So I need to go there and claim some rent probably at some point. So what happened then is that I thought I need a fashionable house here. And so I had converted and built what you now know as Hotham Park Lodge. A very agreeable accommodation within a garden area, a park area. And also later I had to be built the Dome and Mordington and Spencer Terrace, which are now, I understand, with St Michael's, also built in my time, part of the university. Well, one would never have imagined a university. Now I asked also, what was that very striking canopy to the south of that area, of the university and of the park? And I understand it is a holiday resort within the town, where literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people come every year, of all manner and classes and professions. This is, of course, what was needed. I'm delighted also that the gardens have now become Hotham Park for the use and disport of all manner of persons, however humble. The house has been divided into various accommodations. I would really like to, if I were able to stay and resume my life, take that all back and create the sort of house where people of quality could come and visit one. So, this town, with its epithet of Regis, is one of the most fascinating projects. You know, I understand it was the first of its kind to be purpose-built in this country and indeed the whole world. And its fame has spread. Now, what is needed? Well, as in that time, in my time, you need vision. Vision is what is needed. Not to shortchange oneself or one's town, but to make it better and more attractive. Because, you know, places like Brighton and others will still try to take your trade from you. And one of the things that has pleased me, by the way, is that there is a hostelry named the Hatters. And that indeed, you can go in there and find out about myself there. Now, you've been listening while I've been talking to music composed by Mr. John Marsh. Now, he was a composer, musician, resident in Chichester. Excellent symphonies that he wrote, and he also, I gather, wrote some diaries, and that I mentioned in them, and you can find them in the County Council's Records Office and on the internet. Now, let me tell you about something I find fascinating. This is a pen. Do you realise this is a pen that doesn't run out of ink, or not for a long time? That is amazing. For me, when we had to dip the pen into an inkwell, I'm astounded, and with many of the other things that I've seen. So, one of the questions I need to put to you is, in my day, the sea bathing water was fresh and clean, and you knew that any fish and lobsters and so forth there that you had, and when you went sea bathing, you knew you were in a healthy environment. That is something I hope has been maintained. And as for the humble fisherfolk, I take my hat off to them, because they have now, I gather, come back and are reviving their industry to bring it back to the situation where even in my time, just before my time, His late Majesty King Charles II would prefer his lobsters to come from Bognor. And now I find that Bognor Regis, the fishing didn't only go back to the year of our Lord 680 AD with the Saxon lady, but many thousands of years before. Indeed, before this island became an island. Probably before the great flood that our Lord sent. Now, may I toast you and your town, our town, may I toast it with this colonial wine from the province, the colonists of Australia. Very nice. So, long may Bognor prosper. May it enjoy good health and prosperity. And may I say at the end, God save the King.